Wakanda will no longer watch from the shadows. We cannot. We must not.
For the first time in history, two worlds are combining. Fiction is becoming reality. We've all heard of Wakanda, the beautiful city, the heart of Africa from the Black Panther comics and film. We were all mesmerized by its strong culture and unique design. However, as impressive as it was, Wakanda remained a fictional creation, a little more than another genius thought from the mind of Stan Lee. But now, thanks to one rich revolutionary rapper, Wakanda is being brought to life. With a multi-billion-dollar budget, Akon's new so-called Solar City will drive the African economy, amaze Marvel fans, and pay tribute to Black Panther himself, Chadwick Boseman, all at once. Before too long, we'll all be screaming, Wakanda forever! So, what would a real-life Wakanda actually look like? Allow us to take you on an imaginative journey through the glass-laden utopian megacity in the making. The stunning renderings that have already been released make Solar City, better known as Akon City, appear as a futuristic oasis for the wealthy. But it's not exclusively for the wealthy or tourists for that matter. Above all else, Akon, the mastermind behind the entire operation, wants this city to be the pathway to a new and improved world, with immense benefits for the locals. What's your first impression of the buildings? Unique? Certainly, but there's a good reason for their interesting shapes. Lead architect Hussein Bakri takes inspiration from African sculptures, a nod to the wonderful, thriving local culture that Akon wants thrust into the spotlight. Akon,
you're doing something incredible right now. You're building a city.
He built the city already.
It's built?
No, I'm building. Building? I'm doing built already. Yeah.
Tell us about that, because Mike has got some projects in the works.
I was saying that. So Mike was walking me through, his dream room. Like I'm calling that like his future, right?
Yeah.
And I'm seeing these resorts. I mean, cannabis. Like, I was like, I didn't even know Mike was into all of this. Like, I'm so proud.
Centers. Yeah, man, this is going to be the future of living.
Right.
Really,
it really is.
It's like an organic Cosmo lifestyle.
Right.
From the cosmos. I can't even put it together, but you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
It's intergalactic.
Yeah, big time.
It's huge. So me, what I've been doing, I was more on the resort side. We're building small resorts, like trying to he's trying to, inject excitement in the tourism all throughout Africa, starting with Senegal.
Love that.
And I realized that majority of Africa itself is just not developed. But I'm also seeing how all the resources from Africa is being pulled from Africa to develop all these other countries. And everything.
They've been doing that since the beginning of time.
Since the beginning of time.
Since Rome, before Roman, since
right.
What's those people before? Not
Assyrians.
No, before the Assyrians.
Mesopotamians.
Come on, what's those guys named? They're like the water people. But anyway,
right.
Yeah.
They've been they knew how to do this since the beginning of time.
It's been happening for a long time.
Since the beginning of time.
And my whole thing was,
Sumerians.
Right.
Yeah, they knew since the beginning. They knew about resources, thousands of years before Christ. They knew about resources.
Yeah.
Right.
Had slave labor for resources.
Right. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So ultimately, the idea for me was, the only thing that separates African citizens from benefiting from this is two reasons. One is the fact that they're just uneducated to what those resources are and how much value those resources have. And two, they never utilized the resources in any way because they couldn't define what that was and how much value it could be used. So my thing was, cool. Instead of buying land in America, where they're going to tax it and I can't own anything under 6 feet of the ground anyway, I don't really own the land. I might as well go where I know for sure I'm going to own the land, number one. And number two, I can utilize the resource itself to rebuild the country that's building everybody else's country. So that's why I wanted to create that Akon futuristic city and start in Africa, because I know, like, prime example, Africa's creating 4 or 5 billionaires a year. Like, we have more billionaires in Africa than we have in China.
Interesting.
A lot of people don't even know.
Yeah.
Right? So if you set the standard to create, and most of them don't even bank in Africa, which is crazy.
Yeah.
They're banking in Europe, banking in, in Swiss, banking in the UK. Like, nobody banks in Africa because there's never been a solid, stable currency throughout the whole continent. So no one trusts it. And that was one of the reasons why I said, we got to create Akon, which will be the cryptocurrency that bypasses fiat currency altogether.
I love that.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
hell
it's a big web within the city, the currency, and then now you get the population, and you literally like just charge them up and empower them to be the ones that manage it, build it, and live in it.
It's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's going amazing, man. It's going amazing. We just got all the approvals for the whole site to build out. We got the master plan approved by the government, and now we're just getting all the investors to come on board.
And know what I noticed too, from my travels in like the Caribbean and Haiti, it's white people are not afraid of shit.
No, they explorers.
Yeah.
They get there before anybody.
Listen, right?
That's interesting.
It's so crazy, right?
I'm in South Africa, Soweto. I'm in the jungles, right? I'm not getting out the car. You see white people here drinking and hanging out at the bar, and they're white people in the jungle. I'm not out of the car. I'm like that.
The 2,000-acre waterfront oasis is being designed to serve as a hub for business and tourism, and the renderings are the stuff of science fiction. Akon City's official website depicts a futuristic metropolis filled with gleaming, twisting skyscrapers and palm trees. There are plans for residents to be able to use Akon to pay for the tram, basic utilities, business licenses, and even their taxes. And if Akon has his way, this will be the first of several more Akon-branded smart cities throughout Africa. One of the key players in this ambitious endeavor is Akon's business partner, John Parris, a former Hollywood producer. Parris is the president and co-founder of Akon, and the CEO and co-founder of Akon Legacy Ventures, Akon's business entity that encompasses his other pursuits. Akon City has been a dream and a vision of Akon's for probably more than a decade, Parris told Business Insider on a recent phone call. It was just the how and the what, and having the team and resources to pull off such a massive undertaking. What do you think this city will look like? This city is physically present within the beautiful landscape of water and surrounding nature. Open spaces will be planted with native trees and flowers merging into the landscape, yet standing separate along the lines of the constructed and drawn pathways. Walking along with nature and water into the heart of the development, the residential building will reflect a walk in a creative man-made forest that renders the combination between nature planet with culture transferred into a futuristic creation. The pathways linking the buildings are a reinterpretation of the human geometry of communication. Akon City is slated to be built on the Senegalese coastline about 62 miles south of Dakar and 35 miles from Dakar's new $575 million international airports.
We're building the first prototype in Senegal, West Africa. We've already done all the soil studies. We're like literally months away from actually breaking ground to start construction itself. I partnered up with Dubai. Dubai came on board, believed in the project. They're actually now coming on board to help me structure it, because I always wanted to partner up with people that's done it before.
Right.
So I don't have to make the same mistakes they made. And as you can see, like Dubai, the way they built that city in 20 years and where it's at, they clearly know more than I know. And they also have a huge interest in Africa as well too. So, I help them, they help us. Dubai Ports came on board as well too. So, I'm super excited about where this is going and where the future of Africa can become, because as you know, it's like a white slate. It's underdeveloped. We have all the resources. We don't have to go outside to get anything. We can build the whole city in Africa with Africa's resources. So and we'd be able to use the population, because the human resources is even better, because we're at 1.5 billion people now.
Yeah.
So now imagine Akon City in Senegal, then we branch it off to all these other countries, which we've already closed Uganda, and then we're going to go into Rwanda, and we're going to go into Kenya.
But why start with Senegal? What's the big deal about Senegal?
Well, that's where I'm from. Born, raised, my family's from there. And then it's really more so the location. Senegal is like 6.5 hours, no more than 7 hours from anywhere in the world. 6.5 hours from the United States, 6.5 hours from Europe, 6.5 hours from the Middle East. Like, it's literally 6.5, 7 hours tops from anywhere in the world.
How do I not know this? This sounds like an amazing destination.
It's crazy.
So what's the point? What's the goal? What's the ambition for Akon City?
Well, the ambition is for it to create the spark that eventually create the fire to develop Africa the right way.
That's fantastic. That is absolutely brilliant. I like your story that this is where you're from and you're taking it back to enrich Africa. I really want to see this happen. I also know that you're working on something as well. You've launched, whilst we're here, the Akon. Tell me about this, because this is big news and it's also amazing.
So we launched Akon in last year, August. We started with one exchange. We're now currently on 5 exchanges. And then the beautiful part about it is because I didn't want to just be a cryptocurrency that's just out there, people gain popularity and you trade on it, okay? It has nothing to back it up but a story, right? But with Akon, it's different because it's actually a tool of real utilization. It's actually a real currency that's being utilized right now today in Africa. You know, we're starting in Kenya where we created a pilot project that were, you know, people there being paid their payroll from work on Akon. They're utilizing Akon as a way of actually buying their medication at the Mwale Medical Center. Like, it's a real thing, you know, and it's real transactions on mobile phones. And just yesterday, we actually launched the Akon MasterCard. And I get to actually show it to you for the first time because I actually used it to check into my hotel and use my incidentals with crypto, right? And I think the issues wasn't really more on the currency side. It was more so on the infrastructure side. You know, when you're dealing with a project that big, you got to involve the government. They have to be a part as partners, help to regulate. And then, of course, there's a lot of agendas when it comes to government as well. You know, partnerships from neighboring countries, that certain things that you can and cannot do related to it. Me wanting it to be a free zone where people can come and live, you know, work and not have to pay taxes. These are all negotiations that come. But then that's where the crypto side come in because of the currencies and the stability of the local currency that's there. You can't really take it out of Senegal. So once you leave Senegal, you can't even change it over into any other currency. So the crypto aspect was super important for me because I want people to be able to utilize Akon not only just in Akon City, but when they go to their respective hometowns, they can still go to the ATM, still go to the local department stores and be able to purchase.
Now you touched on taxes a little bit. Now I know in 2019, that's when the IRS started to ask for crypto to be included into annual binders. And so talk about taxes in regard to crypto and Akon.
Yeah, so a lot of that still, as you can see, is still being worked out. The governments are now realizing that crypto is not going anywhere. It's actually getting a lot more effective and more aggressive. The youth of our generation, like, we kind of understand it better. We know it better now, and we know that that's a better benefit for us than how how today's financial instruments are set up, right? So I think it's ongoing, but for me, where Akon City sits, it's a free zone. So none of those laws won't really matter in Senegal because it's out of the jurisdiction of those major banks per se. And I think that's one of the reasons why crypto is going to play such a huge role, because it can create its own rules to an extent, being the fact that it's set up and it's already out in the open, it's super safe, it's encrypted, it's on the blockchain where it's super transparent. So, you know, I think we just have to flow with it as it grows. As the laws are changing towards it, we just adjust.
Okay, I thought it was a ribbon cutting.
Well, no, actually, this ain't a ribbon cutting. It's dropping the first stone.
Right.
So normally what happens is when you got a project of a huge magnitude, or even a major high-rise building, they always have traditions where you just drop a stone, or you cut the ribbon when it's finished.
Okay.
When people are walking in, that's when we'll cut the ribbon. But when you're starting a construction site or a big project development-wise, you always drop a stone or a brick. A brick is like for a pool, something small, a house.
Yeah.
But in this case, we're
like,
building a city.
They had concrete and everything there,
right,
so that was like serious.
It was serious.
Talk to us more about like the city in itself, like the city of Morjan, that Akon City.
Yeah, so Morjan is where the city's gonna be. I went and met the elders day before yesterday. Today, I invited them all to come to the dropping of the stone, and I wanted them to really feel like this is their project too, because it's not just mine. My name is on it, yeah, it's attached, but this project is for all of Senegal. But they made the ultimate sacrifice by allowing me to get that land for the benefit of everybody. And that land, as you know, it was used for agriculture. Those are farmers that lived there.
Oh wow!
You know what I mean? So I need to make sure that whatever project I put in there, not only going to continue to feed their families, but create value that's way worth giving up something like that for.
Right? Because do they take away people's land? They give you land, or is this extra land that they? Like addition, supplementary land they give you.
That's the thing, I never really knew how the government operated when it comes to that. All I know is they say, okay, this is an opportunity zone, it's for sale, at a discounted rate with a project of this magnitude. And I'll be like, okay, I need this, I find the money, I pay for it, and that's it. But sometimes, I know you hear these scary stories like the government took the land of the poor and they built these big condominiums. It could be something similar, but if it is, I made sure that the community will be a part of it. They'll be partners with me in this project. it's not something that they're gonna ever even forget or lose value of, because I'm making them part of all of it, and they're also gonna be partners within the city, so the city will eventually find their way of life.
Okay, so this is not like a street named after you. This is not
well,
like
it will be a street named after me in the city.
Okay, but it's not even like a housing complex. This is
well,
like...
there'll be a housing complex also named after me in the city.
It's not like a school.
There'll definitely be a school of music named after me in the city.
It's not like a dealership named after you?
There definitely will be dealerships that may not be named after me, but be named with me.
Okay, but
so
why would you want to do
Akon's
like
Lamborghinis.
I can see that though.
I'm just talking. I'm just joking. But I
am. You decided to do like a whole city.
I'm creating a whole city, and obviously the whole city is set up to keep my name and legacy alive. So it's no different from Jim Ellis BMW or Jim Ellis.
Right.
You know, so when I do things like that, I want to brand my name within it because it's going to allow me to create other avenues, not only of business, but areas that I can utilize my name to actually maximize on.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. But does a project this big scare you? It's your whole...
No, this motivates me. You know,
would you go
it's like doing a concert.
Yeah.
The bigger the crowd, the more hype I get.
That's true.
So it's like that with projects. The bigger the project, the more motivated I am.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, so talk to us about what's your plan for the city?
A lot of, I mean, I want it to be the most famous city in the world. I want it to be, like, honestly, when I look at my city, I think my only competitor right now is Dubai. And I want to be that Dubai of Africa, but I want to be looked at beyond because I want to be super original. I want Africa to feel like Africa in my city.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at countries like Europe and America and the UK, they kind of influence a lot that's going on in Dubai.
Yeah.
Where I want to be the city that influenced everyone else to change their architecture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So I get DMs about this city, especially like with things going on in America. People are like, yo, I'm getting out of Africa. Out of America.
Please
hook me up with some land at Akon City.
I got you.
Okay, so we can hook them up.
Right.
With
So
land.
right now it's too early.
Okay.
Because we're still in process of development.
Okay.
But in the next 90 days, hopefully, I'll have the actual site up where they can actually go on site, look at floor plans, look at condominiums, look at business, spaces, and be able to lease and buy before the city even comes up.
Okay.
That's the goal.
Well, thank you for joining me again today. We'll be back again when you're building your own country.
Man, listen.
Inshallah.
Oh, and make sure that everybody that you talk to, while we're having a conversation, know that they can log on AkonCity.com to see everything. The video, the city is up now. They can see whatever their imagination of the city to be, they can go on the site.
My dog made this beat. My dog made this beat.